The review. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 7, Episode 5, Friends of Faux. Let's get into that. Okay, with this episode, it really wasn't giving me much, so I'm not going to touch bases on everything because basically everything that we wanted to see was towards the end. So I'm going to touch on the dinner and give you my intellect on that situation at hand. So let's get into it. We open up this episode with Claudia. She's in her new apartment. It's a high rise, and basically giving her that New York feel in an Atlanta environment. So Kenya walks in. They talk about life. They talk about what Candy told the lady. The fact that Candy apologized, which I commend Candy because she did not have to do that. And they talk about Kenya not having not Kenya, but Claudia not having furniture and this, that, and the other. Talk about her personal life. They basically have a conversation, basically giving us a fake friendship, which they do not have. They do not know each other as well as they say they do, because it is reality that we need that entertainment. Moving along, we go to Candy Burris. Candy visit her old house in which she moved out of and moved in with Todd that she actually renovated and created and worked on herself in the previous season. So to go in and remind you, it was supposed to be Mama Joseph's house, but Mama Joseph didn't want it because her name wasn't on it. But the real tea and the real gag is that on that, she didn't want the house because her man effed it up. So hey, why don't I ask my daughter who's going to pay me and give me everything I want, which is no problem with, and get me a new house. So with that said, Candy did. It's Candy Bird. But anyway, Candy and Todd go visit the house because they're going to rent it out, so that to see what needs to be fixed or this that, and other. And the boyfriend, aka Mama Joyce's man, tore the whole house up. Tore up the kitchen, tore up the restroom, her closet, tore down walls, pulled up carpet, tore up the tiles blew up, the tub is tore up everything. He just totally demolished the whole house, and it's going to cost at least about $10,000 to $15,000 worth of damage that he has done. And Candy is mad, but of course, Todd, being the husband that he is, in which I commend him for that. And whoever don't agree with me, you just don't agree with me. But I commend him for saying, like, babe, you gotta put your foot down. You gotta tell your mama. It's not. I'm not telling you to disrespect your mama or go and get your mama, but you have to hold your mom accountable. You can't allow her to talk anything about me, talk about my mother with false allegations, try to set me up, try to stop our marriage, and then tear up your house, and we have to spend money to get it fixed or this and other. She's like, yeah, I know, and this and that and other, but it's my mom. I'm not gonna go against my mom. We're not asking you to go against your mom. We're telling you to hold her accountable. Get her together. You're spending all this money on her. Why not tell her what she can and cannot do, especially when it's coming out of your pocket, not hers? Now, with that being said, Mama Joyce agrees to pay for the damages, this and other, because Candy has to really not make money. Why have a house that paid for and is yours and not make money because you're not living in it? That is that. We get to the scene. I'm going to skip scenes, so I might skip a scene or I might be on. I don't know, but we're going to get into Candy and Phaedra's conversation. Um, Candy goes over to Phaedra's house. They talk it up. Phaedra is looking good. She's serving body, booty, I mean face, hair, everything on fleek. She's just giving all. I feel like this whole Apollo thing is really not bothering her, but if it is, like NeNe say, women will find any excuse to lose weight and look good. If your man going to jail, honey, then then lose your weight, get your hair done, look good. I mean, she's looking fabulous. Phaedra always looks fabulous. Don't care what y'all say about fraud. She knew whatever. Phaedra looks flawless, and I love the many aspirations and the inspiration and the many ventures that she has to her name. It takes a great what I want to say, a great phenomenal virtuous woman to take on that task. But Candy's talking to her. Basically, Candy is the mediator, aka middleman, aka the producers say me to be messy, so I'm gonna be messy and try to get the girls together and talk. That was basically the conversation with her and Phaedra. That talk about Kenya, and Phaedra's not really, she's into it, but she's really not trying to hear or understand what Candy's trying to say, because it's Kenya, and Kenya, whether Apollo lied about lying or whether he lied about that to get back at Phaedra. Phaedra's not finna just forgive and just go wipe the slate just totally clean with Kenya, because her actions, he might have lied on her, but her actions said everything for him calling Apollo fine, her flirting, trying to get a threesome going, asking about a threesome, just very disrespectful, allowing him to throw her over his shoulder, and yet they dump in the pool. I mean, just blatantly disrespectful. Phaedra has asked her on and on not to meet with her husband without her being present. That's wife 101. And I agree with the ladies. One thing if I do know about women who are married, that if they don't care if they don't like each other, they ain't gotta speak another day in life. But when it comes to a single woman flirting with a married man, the single woman, the married women was cast together, and they would come against that single woman because they have that relationship, they have that thing that brings them together, is that one thing they have in common, and that's basically what Kenya is. Kenya did not come on the show. She came on the let me put it this way. She came on the show malicious. So we get into the scene with Kenya and Claudia. I'm not gonna talk about it. They work out, talk about the other ladies, and then Claudia gets into her personal experience with being biracial and being picked on. So that's that. We get into a next scene with we get into the lady with Aunt Bertha, honey, and we get that's Candy, Aunt Bertha, and the other one, the old lady gang. Lord, you already know how that's gonna go. But Candy is feeling down. She's pissed off about the house, so she decides to go talk to her auntie, get a good laugh, and basically what it is, ask about her marriage and the babies and everything. She said everything's going good, and they talk about the boyfriend, and she basically, Candy has a point to where somebody, well, Mama wanted to talk about my man, but if my man would have tore up my house, then she would have been crazy. And the old lady gave her a look. But anyway, then they talk about acts about sharing and things like that. So that was basically that scene. Really wasn't too much, but that's what it was giving us. So we get into the meat and potatoes, lobster, shrimp, and caviar of the episode, and this is what I want to get into. That's what I'm going to elaborate on, but I'm not going to do too much elaborate because yeah. But anyway, we get to meeting with the ladies that Candy has set up in this cheap A restaurant with bad service and stale saltine communion crackers. All they was missing was watered down wine. But anyway, Phaedra shows up, Candy shows up, Portia shows up, Kenya shows up. Everybody speak to each other. Kenya speaks to Phaedra only because she said you can tell that was all shade. And then NeNe, honey. NeNe walks in with the persona of like she is over the whole situation. She is over it. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies. How you doing? She's like, bitch. Broadway, honey. It's done. It's over. I don't want the energy of the ladies. I just don't want to be here. But because it's production, I need my check. I'm gonna be here, honey. Yes. Yeah. I'm just. I need to really quit. But anyway, they talk. Kenya starts off with this situation where she's talking I've been vindicated, and I'm not a whore, I'm not this, and I'm not that, and she's basically, NeNe jumps in like, sweetie, I ain't never called you no whore, so you would not be getting no apology from me, basically is what she said, and Kenya didn't really respond. She, talking about, Phaedra's looking like, And Kenya talking about, well, Phaedra, you have something to eat. You're saying something in your throat. What do you have to say? And she's like, if you look like a duck, quack like a duck, it's probably a duck. Basically saying, you're not getting no apology because whether he lied or not, your actions portrayed, and you were being disrespectful, and you crossed the lines with my husband. That was basically what that is. Portia said, you ain't getting no You ain't getting no apology from me, and basically you cannot make nobody apologize. It is what it is. Move on swiftly and professionally, like Justin J says, and basically um Kenya and Phaedra get into it a little bit. They go back and forth. Kenya say, look, you the one who keep dragging this for 2 and 3 years. I've been over it. I don't have anything. The slate has been wiped clean. We'll never be friends. It is what it is. Done. Leave it alone. Then King apologized, and she's like, well, Phaedra, that's not an apology. She said in her confession, you don't deserve an apology. You're not going to get an apology. You started. You initiated, whether he lied or not, which was wrong on his part. Very, very wrong. But you initiated, you started, you gave into it, so you are not the victim. So Kenya Moore, stop playing the victim. Time up, over, done, pow. Then we get into the conversation with NeNe and Cynthia. They are no longer friends, but obviously, what I got from this situation was, we all know that NeNe has this big personality, and we know she's known for kind of making mistakes, but she's known for being loud. But in this conversation, having that with her, I seen her and Kim go at it and be pissed off, but I never seen NeNe cry. With this situation, with NeNe crying, whether you believe it's genuine, whether you believe it's a lie, whether you believe whatever it is, I don't believe that. I believe that there has been some underlying dirt been going on Cynthia's part, but because NeNe has this big personality and she's easy to blame for a relationship fail, which NeNe is not all innocent in this situation neither. She could have done some different stuff. She could have acted differently and respected Cynthia as Cynthia wanted. But at the end of the day, you can't expect for nobody. You can only expect for somebody to respect you as much as you offer the respect. Meaning, ain't nobody respects you if you're under their tail, under their ass, and you doing this and that and other, and you're that puppy and you have a voice. Cynthia never had a voice. So that's why other ladies don't have respect for her. Neither respect for her, because she, instead of her saying her point of view, even when people was trying to attack her when it was the small against tall, she stood and said nothing. Kim read her up, down, left, and right, and all her comeback was talking about Kim dress, which Kim looked damn good, and she was pregnant that season. So anyway, let's get back to season 7. I went back to when Marla was on. But anyway, we get to the part that NeNe's talking loud, and Kenya, I did agree with Kenya for once. NeNe was talking too loud, and she was talking so loud and over Cynthia that she can only hear herself. And again, how can you expect Cynthia to say anything because she don't have a backbone? She's talking all this mess, but you let NeNe talk over you. But you talked over Portia, and you tried to rule over Portia. But when the big dog NeNe Lanithia Leaks walk in the building, honey, you back down. Oh, is this the conversation? Yes, sweet, is the conversation. You need to give in and give your point. Go in on NeNe like you tried to go in on Portia, which failed. Because you look like, I'm going in. I ain't want to go in. But anyway, like, I'm not understanding, like, you trying to play innocent in this situation. I know you're not innocent because I've seen the text that you set this whole bitch thing up. Now, you sent emails, you sent texts, you sent calls after the situation. NeNe apologized off air. Y'all spoke about it off air. You supported her in many benches while off air. All of a sudden, the season come on. Now you hate NeNe. We know why you hate NeNe. We know why you don't respect NeNe. You're using everything. At first, you really didn't care about whether NeNe respects you. Now, you didn't care if you talking about, I didn't just wake up one day and not like NeNe. Yeah, you did. Because everything that you did not like about NeNe, that you claimed this season that you didn't like, was forgiven for and was apologizing. Y'all spoke about it. But now you get on camera because you need a storyline. We don't want to hear about fraud checks no more. We don't want to hear about foreclosure. We don't even want to hear about your whack modeling career. And we don't want to hear about the Bailey agency, because the real gag and real tea is people are complaining and ratings are going down because you're not doing what you said you're going to do. People have spent money and have not gotten back what their money was spent for. That's the real tea. Sip that with some Hennessy, you'd be good on that. But anyway, like, we all know it's easy to blame NeNe, in which NeNe is part of the blame. But at the end of the day, that NeNe know what the friendship was. NeNe know, and she's being blindsided because what? This has nothing to do with NeNe going on and saying this and that, because that was after the fact that Cynthia tried to go and play like NeNe is the big fashion and the big person that want this friendship. No, it was underlining mess, and it starts back from the situation at the charity thing, and it had nothing to do. NeNe is not mad at the fact that Cynthia did not agree with her, because Cynthia never says nothing, and Cynthia never made that vocal. She talks to Peter all big and bad, saying, "Oh, NeNe's this and NeNe's that," but you won't say that in her face. But the real tea is that you set it up, y'all talked about it, apology if it was a problem, and now because you need a storyline, you don't have nothing to talk about. Now you want to use this failed friendship as your thing. So because you say you're all over it, but you're really not over it, and the real gag is the thing that when NeNe called Peter a bitch was nothing had to do with that. She was basically saying that you're always in women business. You are a male. And that was Greg problem. Like, do not approach my wife. You approach me. If you have a problem with my wife, you talk to the male. You do not talk to the wife. You do not. He goes in on Phaedra, went in on Candy, went on everybody, and never approach their husband. And that was what NeNe was saying about the whole situation. Stop being a damn bitch. Stay out of women business and be with the men. Even when Cynthia was talking to her mom and her sister, who walks in, Patricia, has his input in everything. Ain't nobody ask you nothing. Stay in a man's place and go on. If they ask your opinion, then give your opinion. It's one thing to say when he was approaching it. It's one thing to say as her friend, but it's another thing to go in and be disrespectful. He was very disrespectful. That was the wrong place, the wrong time. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Cynthia needed a storyline. Her husband was in her ear. So what? We want to see Cynthia be big and big. Now she's big and big. Now she's running rampage all over the doggone place, going off at anybody she can who feels threatened to. Which ain't nobody scared of Cynthia. And Cynthia walks in to the scene and states that if you come for me, I'm gonna come for you. If you don't come for me, then I will sit there and not say anything. Who's scared of you, Cynthia? Rocks? Nobody. Ain't nobody scared of you, so you can stop with this big bag act. Ain't nobody scared of you. You ain't scary. You don't bark. You won't bark. You all bark and nobody. Bye. NeNe came for you, was just read you all up and down. All you could sit there and do is, but you tried to go in Portia a couple of episodes ago over Portia stating her opinion because you're a flip flopper. At the end, done. The question of this video is: should NeNe and Cynthia remain friends, or are they? Do you think on the next episode that they will remain friends, or will they be friends? Please leave your comments, like, comment, subscribe, share this video on all social media accounts, and peace. This has been Recap with J.DAREL, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 7, Episode 5, Friends of Faux. Peace.